Welcome once again. This is News Tonight. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. And as we delve straight away into the bulletin, just a sneak peek, Umeme, the electricity distribution network or company, will soon have a concession between government, and that will happen by April 1st, 2025. We will delve into that discussion a little bit later into the bulletin. Now, as we delve into the news, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has ended his 4-day wealth creation tour to Bunyoro sub-region by holding a major public rally in Kagadi district. Museveni says that much as infrastructural development have been realized, what bothers him now is that almost half of the country's population is still not yet in the money economy, hence the need to double effort. Let's see more in this report.
This procession marked the beginning of the last events of the 4 days presidential evacuation visit to Bunyoro sub-region. To lead up the day, the procession was led by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabanja, accompanied by the Chief Whip of NRM, Hamson Obua, Ministers Evelyn Anite, Fred Byamukama, and State House Controller Jane Bariche. At the venue of Muhororo Primary School playgrounds in Kagadi district, Premier and her team arrived in style, although earlier the Omukama Ruhanga Obushobozi Bisaka had arrived. In the afternoon, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni joined the public gathering.
Bless us, protect us from all harm and danger. We make our prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
After the prayers, the speech time was opened up by local leaders.
Ntwenda kusima kutuha ba minister bebembirwe prime minister nibatuyambe kichweka munonga twaba twine issues nuba turukwirukira.
The people of Greater Chibale, the people of Bunyoro, the people of Uganda shall be rejoicing and shall be glad in your leadership and the message you have carried to the countryside on wealth creation.
Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Robert Nabanja and Minister Dr. Chris Baryomusi highlighted the significance of wealth creation tours as initiated by the President.
Nitwenda okusima imwe abantu ba Bunyoro bwo kwakira abantu abejire bakafurukira kunuya
kandi kisize nitumanya nka muri tuli kandi nitumanya ngo niwe wenka akusobola kutwara omumaiso abanya-Uganda bamazira ya kuikiriza ngo niwe wenka barasagika.
And this is how President Museveni started up his address.
Ati okuyimukya omunaku harumu ensonga emu eitwine okumanya. Abantu baitu abasoga bagamba mu rurimi rwabo ngo akange kakira akaife.
And it is from this point that the President says poverty alleviation programs like PGM, NADS, Emyoga and among others must be embraced by Bunyoro sub-region.
Mbwenaho nundu kugonza okuteka maana kigambo kya akange kakira akaife. Ngonza buli omu aligyo mbunaku niyo kalitango eiturohadi.
For the money lending business in Uganda, the President says their services are no longer needed since government has provided either free money or those with low interests.
Sente ezumbere ni mwehora ombasuma banyu ba money lenders abena kuhora milioni emu hanyuma y'omwaka omusasura milioni 4. Hati ekyo ningonza okudibya omulimo gwa money lenders. Ningonza sente zabo zidibe bagende Congo n'ahandi bagende kwiba abandi.
With all these poverty alleviation interventions, the president is now disturbed with the 14th charging of school fares in most government schools, a burden which he says has chased many learners away from school. Regarding calls from Bunyoro leaders to tarmac major roads in the area, Museveni promised that with the current strength of Uganda's economy, nothing will stop him from developing Uganda. For those evicting communities forcefully, the president strongly condemns such acts. This rally marks the end of the 4 days tour of His Excellency President Kaguta Museveni in Bunyoro sub-region. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The Vice President Jessica Alopo Friday afternoon arrived in Windhoek, Namibia, where she is representing President Yoweri Museveni at the 35th Independence Anniversary and inauguration of the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia. The Vice President will join other world leaders at Namibia's Independence National Stadium for the swearing-in of the first woman President-elect, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. Upon arrival at Hosea Kutako International Airport, the Vice President was received by Namibia's Deputy Minister for Gender, Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare, Benedette Maria Jaga, and Uganda's High Commissioner to South Africa, Ambassador Paul Amoro, and Uganda's Honorary Consul to Namibia, Prince Joseph Ndaula, and Uganda's military attaché to South Africa, Colonel David Richard Lumumba, among other officials from Uganda's High Commission in South Africa and the Namibian Consulate in Windhoek. President-elect Nandi Ndaitwah, 72, also the incumbent Vice President of Namibia and the Southwest Africa's People Organization SWAPO, won the elections in November 2024 with 57.31% of the vote, beating 14 rivals and crossing the 50% threshold to avoid a runoff. Her victory extended SWAPO's rule in Namibia since independence. Namibia gained independence from Germany in 1990. Now she succeeds Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, who has served as interim president for a year since the death of the third president in February last year. President Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah triumphed over a field of men to win Namibia's elections and make history by becoming Africa's 4th female leader. SWAPO's Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah's main rival was Itula of the Independent Patriots of Change IPC. Now, in Buganda caucus, members of Buganda Parliamentary Caucus through the Office of the Prime Minister and Ministry of Disaster and Preparedness have urged government to expedite efforts to help Kalangala residents whose houses were brought down by a recent heavy storm, which also claimed some lives. While addressing the media at Parliament, the chairperson of Buganda Parliamentary Caucus, Mohammed Mwanga Chivumbi, decried mismanagement of certain government projects such as PDM that has left out some of the beneficiaries from Buganda. The caucus has put in place a committee headed by Honorable Lulume Baiga to assess the economic development situation in Buganda, and he asked government to come up with elaborate policy interventions to address these issues.
Sympathy to the people of Kalangala for a tornado that hit them so hard and caused massive destruction of property. We want to beseech government to react promptly and adequately, to go out of its way to help the people of Kalangala for that unfortunate happening. We hope all state resources are available, and the Office of the Prime Minister and Disaster Preparedness should, in an earnest way, quickly speed up efforts to help the people of Kalangala. We've agreed to set up a task force headed by Dr. Umeme, non-partisan. It has Mr. Javira, Dr. Kefa, Honorable Narima, to go out and come up with an elaborate policy proposals that we think, if we adopt them as interventions, they will be able to meet the challenges of Uganda that we face today. On monies distributed under the parish development model, we are the region that gets the least amount of money. We are losing out on health centers, especially health center 3 that are based on sub-counties. We have the least sub-counties. We also have the least number of constituencies, given the fact that we are also a region with the highest number, with the highest population density. Take this opportunity in a special way to congratulate and together with all the people of Uganda to celebrate the 70 years of the usefulness of our king. To encourage all our voters, all our supporters across all districts and constituencies of Uganda that on 6th, all of us should lead the way in celebration and in the Kabaka's run. All of us are going to be there, even you.
Now, the leadership of the Mantle of Deborah, in partnership with the Office of the First Lady of Uganda, is holding the Mantle of Deborah Conference Saturday, the 22nd of March 2025. This year's conference, said to be graced by the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni at Makerere University, will see a cyber training project aimed at training at least 200,000 young people in IT and cyber security.
The Mantle of Deborah is a symbolic call to both women and men to step into their God-given leadership roles and confront challenges with courage and boldness, drawing inspiration from Deborah, the prophetess and judge in the book of Judges.
The Mantle of Deborah, I mean, when people hear Deborah, it's very easy to think it's all about women. But like I mentioned before, Deborah did not fulfill the mandate herself. Deborah partnered with a host of men. So it started with one man, Barak, but then she partnered with the thousands of male army in Israel. So the Mantle of Deborah, yes, empowers women to arise, but the Mantle of Deborah has room for men. So it's not just about women, men are invited. Deborah never fulfills the mission on her own. She needs the mighty men to get the job done.
This apostolic and prophetic conference seeks to empower women as leaders and influencers in society, fostering their confidence in taking on life's challenges.
Africa is dependent on so much that is going to happen in Uganda in this season. Therefore, open your heart. Don't just come like you're coming to a fellowship. Come like a Ugandan, come like a Deborah, come like a Jael, come like a Barak, and receive your portion and let us run. Because Uganda, it's time that you arose to your position in Africa.
For the time that Apostle has been coming, many people, including myself, we have come to realize that there is a purpose and we must arise. It is time to arise. It is time to take part. It is time to be part of this nation's development. The future of Uganda depends on each and every one of us.
The vision bearer, Apostle Iseganegba, who has already jetted into the country, emphasizes that this is a no ordinary conference gathering.
At tomorrow's mantle of Deborah, the Spirit of God, by the Spirit of prophecy, is going to be calling forth, anointing and commissioning people that God will use to lead certain sectors in this land. The next kind of people that God will usually cause to arise when it is time are the watchers. I believe that in this season, God is raising different categories of watchers over this nation. Those that will watch upon the walls of spirituality, but also watch upon the walls of economics, watch upon the walls of government, watch upon the walls of security. In the different areas of the nation, God is raising watchers that will bear a burden and a sense of responsibility for the building of the land.
The Makerere University Freedom Grounds, for those of you who will be joining us from different nations, Makerere University is the oldest university here in Uganda. It's about 100 years old, and at this university is where degrees of the highest are conferred, PhDs, masters. But tomorrow, beyond ink on paper, the blood of Jesus is going to cover that place, transitioning, shifting as the apostolic and prophetic mandate is being declared upon the nation of Uganda.
At least 200,000 young people will benefit from the cybersecurity and IT training program set to be launched during this Mount of Deborah conference.
Cybersecurity training for up to about 200,000 people are going to be trained in cybersecurity. That's where the world is going.
We are going to call upon young people who are ready to take this on to begin to approach us so that we can register them. It will be formally launched. We are launching it tomorrow, but there will be a bigger launch in May.
The conference will also extend to Mbara, where another session is set to take place at Holy Spirit Fire Church. Crispus Arinitwe, UBS News.
Now, the UPDF and other security agency officers have graduated in internationally recognized diplomas in French proficiency while receiving certificates at the French embassy resident in Kampala. The graduates were optimistic that the knowledge acquired will help them improve their careers. The event, which coincided with the International Francophone Day that is celebrated globally every 20th of March, was officiated by the French ambassador to Uganda.
Award for the military who went through the training in French, and they got diploma in French language studies, which is internationally recognized. That is from level A1, A2, and B1.
I really appreciate for having a chance of got a chance to study this language, because we're here to develop Uganda internationally and represent Uganda diplomatically.
So the B2 that I have got is equivalent to a bachelor's here, or even more, because it's recognized internationally. I'm very happy. Exams were very hard, very hard.
As an individual, now that means I can freely, efficiently and effectively communicate in French. I can teach French.
And today we have together civilians, and we have representatives of the UPDF, of the UPF, who enjoy the opportunity to learn French in a dedicated curriculum in Jinja, in the Kalafik barracks, and I was very happy to visit them last year.
It's the International Day where all Francophone people do come together to celebrate this French language, how it has helped us to acquire many things in our lives, the way we use it to communicate, and many other things.
Now, the Deputy Country Representative of the Uganda United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, Jason Hapes, has revealed that UNHCR is holding initiatives to bridge the funding gap occasioned by the withdrawal of the United States Agency for International Development funding. So far, the UN body is battling with a funding gap of 40%, which has led to a cutting off of some unnecessary projects within some settlements. Let's hear more from Lydia Chomukama.
In a media engagement, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Deputy Country Representative Jason Hapes, said the Commission depends largely on donor funding, hence the cutoff of US aid funding negatively impacted on their services.
With the reductions and the looking forward, we are concerned that this distinct relationship with the increasing needs and decreasing resources that we may face. We're at the precipice, we're at the threshold where we need to be able to address the emergency needs and the immediate life-saving needs, which we are, but we are concerned if the numbers continue to rise with our ability to continue to do so.
With the huge number of refugees that still flock into the country, this funding gap has led to stoppage of some activities in some settlements, including closure of 2 medical centers.
Needs always outstrip the resources. We are doing what we call a reprioritization, which we do all the time because we're an emergency organization. We have a number of Congolese coming in. We have to address their needs. I give you one example of things that we do. So we try to redistribute the resources and use them in the most immediate and effective ways.
However, some interventions are ongoing with other partners to sustain and address the needs.
Right now there's a process ongoing to fully to work with the United States and other partners to see how we can continue to sustain or a set of resources and the resources to address the needs.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees also welcomed Goodwill Ambassadors, who have a project that aims to equip refugees, especially children and PWDs, with socio-educative ways and gender equality. This has been a 2-year implementation and is now to be extended to northern Uganda settlements, including host communities, in order to curb conflicts.
Proud to see that this decision have an impact on young people and children in Uganda and around the world.
So is how these people that are going from DRC, from Sudan, or Prince, that wants to work in artificial intelligence, wants to have his own business, is going to create a very good and healthy panorama in terms of the economic here in Uganda. And
Lydia Chomukama for UBC News.
Now, officials from the Ministry of Water and Environment Friday toured the Uganda Industrial Research Institute, Namibia. The aim of the visit was to assess the institute's operations and explore potential areas of collaboration. Let's hear more in this report.
The senior water officer at the Ministry of Water and Environment, Engineer Kajimu, led the delegation from the Ministry of Water and Environment to Uganda Industrial Research Institute in Namibia to inspect different innovations undertaken here.
We have been having, first of all, we've had exhibitions, we've had paper presentations, and this week normally engages stakeholders from all sectors. International, regional, and national. Those stakeholders include policymakers, academia, those that present technical papers, and those that are within the water and environment subsector.
Max Sherira, the Business Development Manager at Uganda Industrial Research Institute, addressed the visitors on behalf of the Executive Director, Professor Charles Kwesiga.
This annual event serves as a platform to reflect on our challenges and achievements in promoting sustainable water and environmental resource management in Uganda. The theme this year, Water and Environment Resources for Enhanced Resilience and Improved Income and Household, resonates deeply with our collective aim to foster resilience and improve the livelihoods of our communities.
Gloria Champere, the public relations officer at the Institute, gave her insights into different innovations geared toward sustainable development. She also highlighted the need for collaboration in relation to the objectives of the Ministry of Water and Environment to improve water supply.
Of platforms for value addition, product development and skills enhancement. Another core activity is that we do R&D, that's research and development, which leads to incubation of industry. Another core activity is technology development, technology transfer, and diffusion, and designing optimal processes. We also assist entrepreneurs in managing their enterprises through our business development support services and ICT. We have a vibrant business incubation through which we incubate all natural businesses. And from that we have incubated so many enterprises like Mega Miracle.
Engineer Kajimu and his delegation toured various laboratories, science and technology departments and applauded the Institute for the great innovation.
The Ministry of Water and Environment is really thankful for you for accepting to host the delegates.
Maureen Nahawe Rubagumya, Kevin Matovu, UBC TV.
Now, the judiciary has launched the 11th set of video conferencing system at a function that took place at the Commercial Court in Kampala. The system was launched by the Deputy Chief Justice, Justice Richard Butera, who also asked court users and those in the judiciary to embrace the system in order to help in enhancing justice in the country.
With a need to enhance justice, Judicial on several occasions has come up with different initiatives. Friday, the arm has launched the 11 sets of video conferencing system at the function that took place at the Commercial Court Division in Kampala. Kibate, the head ICT in Judiciary, explains how the system will operate.
By law, it's a requirement that both audio and video is the same for future reference. We've had cases that go to appeal. It's a requirement that we submit the audio and the visual recording.
While launching the system, the Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera said technology is being adopted in all aspects of life for facilitating online services in terms of delivering justice.
We have endeavored to develop effective processes, procedures and technologies to solve some of the challenges we face.
Deputy Chief Justice Butera added that Judicial has been faced with a prolonged challenge of case backlog, although they have developed some strategies to solve the challenge at hand. However, he is optimistic with a just launched video conferencing system.
It's fundamentally changing the way people learn, interact and work. ICT is being adopted in all aspects of life to facilitate online service delivery.
Before the official launch of the system, according to the Deputy Head of Commercial Division, since its installation in 2023, so far over 500 cases have been handled and completed by different courts. Some of those who have embraced the system since its inception, including lawyers and litigants, had this to say.
Very interestingly, we closed the plaintiff's case early this week, I think on Tuesday. The plaintiff led 6 witnesses. All of them were examined virtually. The ones who were in Uganda, their lawyer was in the US. When I came back, our last witness was in Cyprus. So we've conducted the case essentially start to where we are, using fully the system.
In all cases, like my colleague has said, the system has been very clear. The audio is clean, and the visual, you can see yourself and actually.
However, the system has been faced with some setbacks, among them internet connections, resistance to change by some lawyers, court users, among other challenges. The Chief Registrar Pamela Lamuno-Ochaya said the judiciary has over 266 operation courts, and out of these 163 are connected to the internet, which translates to more than 40% courts covered by internet. And this has helped court users in filing cases online.
The first category is operational systems for courts. And my lord, these are systems that support the legal operations of the courts. For instance, several potential applications that support case filing and management, case distribution, record keeping, archiving, video links, court recordings and transcription, and also evidence presentation equipment, among others.
Through electronic court case management information system, the Chief Registrar is however optimistic that the system will help in administering justice than ever before. With the need to see the good use of the launched system, Judicial of recent launched the rules and guidelines governing the system. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
Well, we're going to rush for a short break, but of course, just a cue in for you. When we do come back, we will have our guest corner and we will be engaging in some Umeme queries. We all know that the tenure is ending on 31st of March 2025, and UEDCL is set to take over from Umeme, that is Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Now, probably the question you will have on your mind is, can UEDCL match or surpass Umeme's legacy? Let's take that short break and return with that interview.
Fire! Buy your tickets through MTN Momo on *165*20# and come support Uganda Cranes. Proudly brought to you by MTN.
With MTN, our football
and our support
is unstoppable. We are unstoppable.
Mera ngenze mboni pa Sam nazanya luto ganyiga star 278 then hash kujja kubanga oyingide mu kazannyo nga sente zino zimula wano zina wangu zino wano milioni 10 ebindi wana soka bila ku TV nange sasoka kikiriza ninga mulaye kino kinzo kubanga kituufu oba yaddala tibya bufere sente zino nazifunye zino nazikoze eki naziwangudde amasanyu nyina mangi ebyoto byange byembadde njagala ngenda bituukiriza.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulator.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful Kids Water Park. We are located on Arua Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Arua City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Kama nemo pocket, tambula body street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission. Internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, nigga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Once again, welcome back from that short break. Like I had engaged with you that after the break, we will be having a guest corner, and the discussion is all conversation, Umeme queries. We right now know that Umeme's tenure is soon ending by 31st March 2025. And Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited, UEDCL, is set to take over. Now, most of the questions around the corner are, can it match or surpass Umeme's legacy? Dr. Patricia Lukoma is in the house to delve a little bit into that discussion. Yeah, our conversation will be revolving around what does this mean for the consumers, for the contractors, for everyone who is going to be affected. She is the Assistant Commissioner for Communication and Information Management at Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers. I'm excited to be here and talk about the Umeme UDCL transition. Okay. So we've been with Umeme for the longest time, I can define. 20 years. And now this transition, for the people out there, it could look a bit sudden. But of course, it has been in pipeline. We knew that at some point they had to say goodbye. So just elaborate a little bit into that. Okay, originally, for those old enough, you know that we used to have the UEB, Uganda Electricity Board. And Uganda made a decision to privatize, as it did with many other businesses. So that was the first generation reform of the energy sector. And right now we call this the second electricity reforms. What does this mean? That we are rethinking the way we do business. We've had a lot of restructuring. For instance, we've seen organizations like the Rural Electrification Agency moving back to the Ministry of Energy. There are plans to have the generation, transmission, and distribution companies become one company. And the worry, of course, aren't we going back to what we had before? I don't think so, because we've had a phase of capacity building. So when Umeme came on board, we needed someone to hold our hand and support us. The beauty is, when Umeme came, it came with about 3 or 5 members of staff outside Uganda. The rest of the people they employed were Ugandans. And so now the concern has been, is government ready? Is Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development ready? Is UEDCL, that's going to be the utility, ready? I think we are ready, and we've been making preparations, but maybe the public felt that we should have been giving them step by step. We've turned left, we've turned right. But maybe some things are necessary. You know, when you're in the kitchen, you just want to serve the food. And we're going to serve the food. We're going to serve UNHCR. And we hope UNHCR will give us a great service.
True. Okay, now, like you said, we love details. We are used to Nigerian movies. You want to see that slow motion. You want to see them move from step A to step B. But basically, what does this mean for the consumers?
Okay. I think the consumer doesn't need to worry. Why? There's going to be a seamless transition in terms of how you can vend. So for instance, if I have Yaka now, let's assume today is 31st. At midnight, which is 1st April, UNHCR is going to come on board. You won't even know they've crossed over. You'll still be able to consume your Yaka that you had loaded and consume it in the usual way, because first of all, the unit cost remains the same. The vending system has been blended in such a way that you'll not even realize this transition. So those are the things we've been working on behind the scenes. The other thing that has been a major concern is the issue of human resource and capacity of UNHCR. UNHCR is a government agency that has been running the other parts of the country that Umeme has not been running. Okay. I know so many people are not aware, but Uganda has 13 service territories, and UNHCR has been running most of them. And then also in this transition of the energy sector, whoever's concession ended, UNHCR took it up as the government arm. And also just to note, as I elaborate, that UNHCR is the mandated organization of government that is in charge of distribution. Even 20 years ago when we handed over to Umeme, those assets came from the asset owner, who UNHCR. So it's literally like Umeme was renting UNHCR's house, and now the landlord is telling you, I need my house back. As agreed, I'm giving you 20 years and I'll expect you to exit. But of course, we had certain agreements on how this exit process will happen.
But of course, 20 years down the road, there must be some new infrastructure from Umeme. There has to be a concession between there. So how are you going to handle that?
So how we are handling this is that within the agreement, Umeme was expected to beef up the network, to invest in the network to a certain extent. But they were not investing alone. Government was also investing in the network. So that has to be taken into consideration, that not all the network expansion we've had has been by Umeme, but they have had also network investment. Now those are the things we are looking into. The other area where government has been spending money, for instance, while Umeme runs, so there's a feeling that, oh, we're looking for this money to give UNHCR to run, but we're also giving money to Umeme, for instance, whenever we had losses. So that being said is, these same Ugandans who left UEB and joined Umeme, others are fresh graduates who joined Umeme. We've built their capacity right from management level. Those are Ugandans. And so we think they have built their capacity in managing a network, a utility, a distribution network. We are employing most of these people. We've been doing a recruitment process where we've recruited people at the managerial level based on a structure approved by the regulator. This structure will absorb almost 2,700 people. Now the concern has been on the few who have been left, about the 1,500, but nobody talks about the over 2,000 that is being absorbed on the other side. But also to appreciate that Umeme had a shelf life, a life cycle. So we knew that Umeme will close after 20 years. Maybe sometimes when we look for jobs as humans, we don't pay attention to shelf life. But if a Umeme employed you, you should have known. And even in the last 3 years, there's been talk of this concession is ending. But even if they also even recruited newer staff even 2 years ago. So you take this job knowing this is a 2 years job, this is going to close. Now, Umeme and UNHCR are two separate companies. The other one is a government company, the other one is private. Totally different structure, different mode of operation based on government principles.
So what happens to the employees of Umeme? Are you taking them over?
No, Umeme's concession ended. Umeme is a different company, but government is coming to take over to do the utility. It has this structure that is absorbing 2,700 members of staff.
You already have your staff in place?
Yes, UNHCR had already 400. So in that 400, we are adding more people. Jobs were opened up internal advert to 2 organizations, Umeme and UIDCL. Some people got, some people lost out. Even some UIDCL staff lost out, but nobody's worried about them. We're only worried about
the
people
Umeme
who are in
staff.
this private company that has closed. This is a different company, newer structure, leaner structure, because now we have new technologies.
No, the worry, Patricia, would be that these people are going to be out of jobs because now Umeme was employing quite a huge number of employees. So probably if it's 1,000 and you've taken only 200, where do we leave?
2,700
2,700.
Yes. So it is just about 1,500 left. It is a huge number.
They'll have to settle somewhere.
But the number we are taking is bigger. But also, UIDCL is not the only employer or possible employer in the energy sector. We have generation, we have distribution, we have contractors. Government is promoting local content. So there are a lot of subcontractors who can use those skills that haven't been taken. And there's actually a very lean technical staff in Uganda. So these people rotate. Someone you see in Umeme tomorrow is in UDCL. From UDCL to generation to transmission, back to Umeme. That is the sort of thing we've been doing. So we hope that in the long run, everybody should be able to be absorbed. But also government has its minimum requirements when it's employing. So maybe a private sector might not pay too much attention to certain things, but the public service has guidance on how you recruit. Any managerial position, you must have a master's. It doesn't matter how many 1,000 years of experience you have. This is the minimum for managerial position. This is a minimum for this position. This is a minimum for this position. So some people have been disadvantaged because they don't have a minimum requirement, even if they have several years of experience.
Okay, just a little bit away from human resource. Let's get back to power shortages or power outages. We've been having quite of those with Umeme. When power goes off and then you have to wait, and especially a few weeks ago, it has been really rampant.
For a few months.
Yes. Yeah. For us, it's a few weeks in Wakiso district. And it has been rampant. And you're like, is this going to go on? You talked about capacity, and then you talked about how prepared you are. Do we hope to actually erase these outages as you people come in?
Yes, government should be able to handle that in the long run. Now, the feeling that the sentiments from the different media houses have been to is like maybe people are demoralized or there's a bit of sabotage. But a network, like any machinery, can be defective. Uganda honestly has an old network that is being refurbished, that is being expanded. But also in the last 2 years, we've had severe case of vandalism, where people steal pylons of the transmission line, where people steal transformers or transformer oils, they steal components. Now, the electricity journey is that we generate from a dam like Narubale, we transmit using those transmission lines. So if someone steals a component, there's a time, I think a year or two ago, where the whole pylon in Mukono came off and we were all off. So if that happens, it is going to affect the distribution, because power moves like that, comes to a substation, then it runs along those lines to a transformer, to your house. So everybody has forgotten that journey, or maybe they don't know. My assumption is that people know. So if there's vandalism, yes, Umeme is leaving, but vandalism has been around. Yes, it is also winding down. So maybe their response rate, yes, is not the same. But the truth is that we've had vandalism and theft of the network. But we've also had sometimes equipment failure, as any machinery would fail, which can happen anytime. Umeme 2 years ago, sometimes they would announce on this number of a date, we're going to do maintenance. So we're going to do maintenance from 5 to 6. Sometimes you're the one who calls them that, oh, a tree over the storm fell over the wire. We have a blackout.
True.
Those things are still happening. But we hope for more efficiency.
Okay.
Refurbish, invest in the network, attend to those emergencies.
Okay, one last question as we sign out. What are you picking from Umeme? What's a lesson that you can learn from the outgoing company? Is there anything that you quite love to do?
Of course, the capacity we've built to do with efficiency, to use a corporate approach, to subject everyone to the same process. And the fact that many things have been automated, it means that there is no longer that thing of technical know-how. Things are online. You apply online, you're given a reference number, and you follow the procedure. Those have been some of the concerns. Going back to government, it will be about VIP things. No, we are following a private sector model. It is business.
And also the introduction of prepaid.
Yes, and government would like to make money and be self-sustaining. So you pay for the power you're consuming, we reinvest it, we improve. Those areas we haven't reached, we stretch the network, we refurbish, we repair. If there's an emergency, we attend to it. We are prepared.
We hope for the best, Patricia.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for stepping in.
Thank you, viewers.
Well,
and hope we have our confidence back.
My takeaway from Umeme is bringing up the prepaid system. We truly enjoy the prepaid system and the fact that you can actually load at up to 1,000 shillings. I think UIDCL will still hold that tariff for us, the prepaid
they
tariff.
Also use prepayment.
Yes. All right, then as we move ahead, the head of Public Service and Secretary to the Cabinet, Lucy Nachove, has asked permanent secretaries to urgently re-engineer their ministries and embrace automation or risk termination. Let's hear more from Kennedy Sonko.
The parameter I will use to evaluate the performance of PSAs for the financial year 25-26, they are here, they are listening, will only be one parameter: re-engineering your ministry and automation only. Whether you will have zero audit queries, whether you will have what, I will not look at any other thing. I will only evaluate re-engineering and automation. Forward, forward.
Nachobe made it clear that failure to meet these automation targets would result in dismissal. She issued this caution after visiting the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, a government agency that has set high standard in automation.
So the time has come. You will either walk away with a zero or you will walk away with 100%. And I will team with the president to say all those who have below 20, let them go and try elsewhere. Because we need to automate and we need to stop. You know, every time we are talking about technology, and we are seeing it every day, we shall sing it up to win.
The URSB board and management expressed appreciation for the visit and welcomed the recognition of their one-stop center as a model for efficiency that ministries, departments and agencies should emulate.
Said coming on the heels of the engagement with the diplomats, we are now engaged another high class. This is the cream of Uganda civil service. They are here. They have seen for themselves how we have automated our services, and the directive she has given to go please and automate and learn from what we have done. We are very excited, and we are thinking this message would go around so that they can know that something can be done if you put your heart in it.
That we have been chosen among the many government ministries, departments and agencies to be benchmarked against for good performance. So as an institution, we are very happy, and this only gives us the impetus to even work more, to even up our game at service delivery. And with this visit, we are more than ready to up our game to even serve the people of Uganda even better.
During the visit, the permanent secretaries were taken through the agency's transformational journey from a cumbersome manual process to a modern automated system that enhances interagency coordination and service efficiency.
And now we are enforcing all the laws as from all the other different directorates that you have been visiting.
Now, with President on e-mobility, the Police Directorate of Logistics and Engineering have received 2 e-mobility motorbikes for Spiro Company to ease their operation as well as combat rampant crime. Let's hear more in this report.
In November 2023, the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Works and Transport, signed a memorandum of understanding with an electric mobility company named Spiro. Under the agreement, Spiro was to deploy more than 140,000 two-wheeler electric motorbikes on the Ugandan market for a period of 5 years. The company was also to install over 3,000 recharging and battery swapping stations across the country, targeting mainly border riders. The partnership between the Ugandan government and Spiro was estimated to create over 9,000 jobs, and the initiative helped riders save up to 40% of their daily costs. After a thorough and systematic testing on Spiro-made electric motorcycles, the president at a Chankwan's event in July 2024 officially launched Spiro bikes.
So, Minister Kaseja, I have already agreed with these people to give them tax-free for their motorbikes, which are electric. They are going to bring them here. I say no taxes. You just bring them. No taxes. They will tell you the details of this tax. They will bring and then make here. They will bring some and assemble. Then start assembling. They will bring for how many months? 18 months. 14 months. They want to import.
The e-mobility policy shift is designed to facilitate the growth of e-mobility and making it more affordable for Ugandans. Spiro has donated 2 test bikes to the police's logistics and engineering directorate amidst their operations to combat crime.
Pull out. I think someone can try to do it. Turn. No, you have to first hold this. Blue yes, the blue part. Then turn it. Then pull.
You know, police work is kind of, sometimes it takes more than the 90 kilometers we're talking about in just the shortest time possible. For example, when we buy a 99 by 1 year, it would have already reached disposal, but we just now keep forcing them because if we are to dispose by 250,000 kilometers in 1 year, our vehicles, the patrol cars, would have already made it. So now this one, in 1 day, we can also cover the 90. And then now, I'm somewhere around the other side of Nansa, Chikere.
So the fast charger will take between 1 hour to 1.5 hours to charge the batteries.
Somebody, we have taken them to Kakumiro, down there. We have taken them to Katolira, in Agago. How shall we get the service, even if the app is there?
Is to continue our commitment to the government, which commitment entailed supporting the electrification of mobility on the roads through setting up of charging infrastructure and enabling riders, organizations, and personal individuals, besides the border riders, to own electric motorcycles.
Spiro's Bruce Muchunguzi remarked that the bikes are samples. Muchunguzi also assured the police of the bike's maintenance and repairs.
Motorcycles, from what we have understood, will be used by the police at their discretion in areas where they are most required, especially the traffic areas, and maybe supporting of the service as and when.
This function was witnessed by the Deputy Director, Logistics and Engineering Directorate, officers, and the Executive Assistant Special Operations in the Office of the President, Honorable Rose Birungi Kamuntu. I'm Waivan Juko for UBC.
Quickly into the world of sports on their second day in Uganda as they continue their Africa tour. South African football powerhouse Mamelodi Sundowns has a chance to visit Sports Club Villa, where the club and country legend Dennis Onyango plied his trade in the early days. Let's hear more.
At about 11 a.m., the Mamelodi Sundowns team arrived at East High School in Ntinda, a place where SC Villa has its weekly training. The team led by club chairman Theoplaina Matsepe were delighted to meet Sports Club Villa team members and to be experiencing the club where their most celebrated goalkeeper hailed from before he made it big on the South African stage.
Over the years, you know, it's been a wonderful relationship that our club has had with Dennis, and, you know, like you say, the trophies that we've won, but also just the places that we've been as a club with him across the continent, you know, being able to learn from the different cultures. We've played in Morocco, we've played in Egypt, we've played in Tanzania, and you realize when you go to all these places across the continent how important sport is, and how passionate all South African and African people, I should say, all African people are about this beautiful game. And we want to use that game to help all people just learn a little bit more about the different cultures and invest in the future of African football.
Dennis Onyango, Uganda's and Sundowns celebrated goalkeeper, commented on this gesture, saying he was humbled and that it will go a long way in building partnerships between African footballing nations.
Believe me, this is going to be shown at the Club World Cup before we go in June, July, because Sundowns has to show its documentary. But the visit to Uganda is going to expose what they got from Uganda, what they got from Sports Club Villa, what Sundowns is all about. But also it's important that the management will share ideas and get to learn from each other on how to do things. There's stuff that they do better that we don't do better. There's stuff we do better, and because football is always rolling. The ball is always rolling, and you can never say that you've learned everything. And the management will discuss on how they want the partnership to work. But for us, it's always an opportunity to give an opportunity to the young ones who are still playing football and who are talented to get that connection, and to hopefully they get to give them opportunities. And
while at it, Onyango also gave his remarks on Watenga's goalkeeping after the Cranes' loss yesterday when they were defeated 3-1 against Mozambique.
But it's unfortunate he made blunders, but that's the game of football. Football is not football without making mistakes. We benefit from other players' mistakes, and I think Mozambique benefited from our mistakes. And we move on. We need to support him. We have a game on Tuesday, which is very, very important, and we have to win. But I understand where the crowd comes in from. But he needs to man up and be a big boy, because there's no time to cry. He has to be a leader, because I think he's the vice captain of the team, and that's what you get when you play as a goalkeeper, when you play for the national team. Sometimes it's going to be rush and hard, but you need to be brave and keep fighting. He might be.
Mamelodi Sundowns team concluded their visit at SC Villa's training grounds, where they donated equipment that will support some of the club's activities. Mamelodi Sundowns team will conclude their visit tomorrow, Saturday, with a sports clinic for young players and coaches at the War Memorial Stadium in Nachivubo.
Well, legend indeed, and that story winds up our bulletin. News Tonight at 8. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
I'd love to take this opportunity to thank our President, UIRI Kaguta Trihabura Museveni, by coming up with a Myoga program. We started in 2021 as Kasumi Parish Carpenters and Myoga Circle. When we received this amount of 30 million, we had a problem, we had a challenge of machines. We used to carry our wood and we would carry it up to Waise to be worked on. So when we got this chance, we are able to buy machines to ease our work of carpentry. At the moment, we are a number composed of 140 members. We have the women who come in and do saloon chairs. We have the men doing 3-drawer tables, 2-drawer tables, and different kind of furniture. Before the Myoga program came in, we had a lot of crimes taking place on this road. When this Myoga program came up, we managed to collect these youths. We gave them hope that you can change from stealing, and we can give you skill so that you be someone in the society that will even help another person.
Kansoke ddala okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga olw'emirimu emirungi gy'atutaddemu ngaffe abavubuka. Nze nno nze omu ku abo abaabeeranga ku kkubo okwo emisana n'ekiro ng'oluusi olw'okuba naffe tunoonya ekyokulya nga gwa kiyina oba mmwe twakiyitanga b'amalala bagenda beerabisa nga tubagwamu munnange era nga tuba tulina obikuggyako naffe ne tubaawo. Naye munnange neebaza kyamani wange wa wano yankwatako nno wamu ne bannange twatandika okukozesa mashini zino tandika okuwawula okulanda okukola dizayini emmeeza zino tuzifulumya entebe bwe ziti tulina emirimu gye tutandikirako emyangu okugeza ng'okufulumya obumotoka buno. Kano akamotoka n'omwana omuto w'emyaka 5 akafa.